Court is calling 2021 CR 7574, State of Texas versus Summer Bailey. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Tim Molina.
And are you Summer Bailey?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No
Ms.
objection.
Bailey, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand what you're charged with is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understood.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court would find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
We have discussed it, Your Honor. Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. I'm showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine probated, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. Taking consideration 661860. There's to be restitution of $150 to Richard Cantu, and there's to be no contact with Richard. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours community service restitution, and a MIC-MILF evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I just point out that Ms. Bailey has no criminal history at all. She does have diagnosed mental health issues. And I believe schizoaffective disorder and PTSD. And this was an isolated incident. And she certainly meant no harm to this individual. And I think it's kind of clear even from the facts that she was just experiencing an episode. And we just asked the court to follow the plea bargain, and I know she can do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Bailey, where would you be living if you were released today?
I live at an apartment and my roommate just ended the lease and October is the last month there. And then she got a house on the east side, but I'm not sure the new address. The current address is 111 West Travis Street.
Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever been under the care of a doctor?
Yes, ma'am. I have a mental illness. I take medication.
All right, and are you still seeing that doctor before you were taken into custody?
No, ma'am. I got to go to the Center for Healthcare Services. So my doctor had recently quit there, and I was getting ready to see a new doctor, and I missed my appointment.
Have you ever been employed or are you receiving SSI?
I receive SSI now. I have been employed before in the past, and I am currently on disability.
And what is that disability for?
Mental health.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to $1,000 fine. That will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Taking consideration 661860. Restitution of $150 to Richard Cantu. No contact with Richard Cantu. You're going to have a referral to Center for Healthcare Services. 100 hours of community service restitution. If you obtain the COVID vaccine, the court will deduct 40 of those hours. Again, for the record, I'm not forcing anyone to get the vaccine, but if you get the vaccine or already have the vaccine and provide proof, I'll deduct 40 hours of your community service restitution. Proof of SSI within 40 days of release. Are you able to report by Zoom, Ms. Bailey?
I can figure it out once I get my phone.
Right, so it's going to be regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if something happens and you can't report by Zoom, you'll need to report in person.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month. And those will be regular field visits instead of random, Ms. Reyes. I don't want to disrupt Ms. Bailey's treatment. Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Reyes, is there anything else that Ms. Bailey needs?
No, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Bailey, if you do employment, because I know sometimes SSI, you can work maybe part-time. You're not able to be employed as a home health care provider or any employment that involves minors. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand that.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
And I'm sorry, Rebecca, could we also do a MIC evaluation, but that can be done while she's out of custody? Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Bailey, it's very important that you make all of your appointments with probation. If you don't, I'm going to receive a report that you haven't made those appointments, and then there's going to be an issue because a motion to revoke is going to be filed, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Court is calling 2021 CR 7574, State of Texas versus Summer Bailey. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, here, Your Honor.
Defense?
Angela Blake.
Are you Summer Bailey?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Summer D. Bailey who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 7574 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on September 10th, 2021 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violating condition number 1, on or about the 5th day of November 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Summer D. Bailey committed the offense of burgling the building and intent to theft in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Partially true. I did not intend to.
Well, here's the thing. It's either true or it's not true. We can't do partially. So is it true or not true?
Sure.
All right. State,
I'll waive the remaining violation.
any objections to the state's waivers?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You don't know that's the range of punishment for what you're on probation for?
Yes, ma'am, I knew that's what I was on.
All right, so you want to sit and talk with her?
Sure, Judge.
All right, we're gonna go back on the record. And 2021 CR 7574. Ms. Bailey, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you do understand that if you have worked out a proposed agreement between your attorney and the state, the court does not have to follow that agreement. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. It is to continue the individual on her deferred. Order her to go to safety with a 8-month extension to her deferred. State will take in consideration in lieu of a plea of true to number 1, which is Night Mag 737-286, which is Burley the building. State is also asking an additional condition of no contact order with Bethany First Baptist Church at 202 Noblewood Drive here in San Antonio, Texas.
And you said 202?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Noblewood, one word.
Okay. Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking me to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court will do. The court will deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to include safety. Does she need a new TAP evaluation for that or no? All right, this is what the court will do. Court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include an updated TAP evaluation. If the TAP evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, then it's to be safety. There's to be no contact with Bethany First Baptist Church at 202 Noblewood, and you're extended for 2 years. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record, Ms. Bailey. From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself, did this result in me potentially going to prison for 20 years? When you're on probation, you're not on probation with your attorney. You're not on probation with the state. You're on probation with the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Judge.